everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Michelle and Matthew to talk about episode 2 of the Era Invitational of the Challenge Season 40, Battle of the Eras. Michelle, how are you doing?
I mean, there are elements of the episode that I enjoyed, I guess. I did. And, karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch. Whose karma is the bitchiest, would you say?
Oh, God. We'll see. Time will tell.
And of course, Matthew is here. I'm sure Matthew's not super happy with how this episode went down. How are you feeling, Matthew?
I'm feeling about an hour and a half ago, we just finished talking about one of my favorite reality TV seasons of all time. And I can safely say after 2 episodes, season 40 of The Challenge will not be matching my love for Love Island season 6. So
100%.
I don't know how it possibly could. We lost 8 people tonight, and it was probably, of the people available to be eliminated, probably the 8 people I would have not wanted to lose.
Yeah.
And that
Wait, is there any? Well, you'd rather Kellyanne over Cara?
Yeah.
I would rather Kellyanne be there, probably. I think.
I would say I'm happy. Ryan. I'm happy about Ryan.
Yep.
I'm happy about Ryan.
Yeah, that's true. I do actually. I think I am happy about Ryan. But like that's so minuscule because I know Ryan will probably get no airtime the rest of the season. And it's just like all the people that are hogging the airtime and all the physically strong people are just going to dominate another season of the show. And it's basically a foregone conclusion because 8 people left and 6 of the 8 are the drama people and not necessarily like the wannabe Olympians, being the 4 women, Paulie and I would say Mark. And then Leroy is kind of just like a likable guy. So I'm definitely not happy. I will say that much. But I don't think I'm as unhappy as Amanda is on Twitter right now. So
you have to give the updates later because I don't have Twitter or whatever. So I need to see this.
Can you just say Amanda the one tweet that you just saw? You just read me, Matthew?
Let me find it. She's been saying a lot, mostly directed at Cory, of course. So she says that Cory's a B-lister. His spot was Nelson's, and no one can name shit that he's done or known for besides fucking hoes and never winning. That's her most recent thing about Cory. She also says he said, "Let's do it for Nelson," was all that I was giving him. Like, that isn't enough. No one else has his back. What a fucking idiot. Hopefully he croaks like he does every other season. So, yeah, I think Cory is on the naughty list from Amanda moving forward. And knowing Amanda, that's probably going to stick for quite a while. Because, the only person she's really made nice with at this point is Cara. But that took about 7 or 8 years. So
and it's only because Cara hates Tori. So if that didn't happen, then I don't think that would have been mended at all.
Honestly, I already want to say that I think MVP should go to Amanda, even though she, because her confessionals this episode got me through. Like every time she had a confessional, she was giving lines. She was giving so many just like iconic, hilarious reads and just looking amazing. I don't know. I loved all of her confessionals tonight.
So Sosie says, hi. Oh boy, Matthew lost most of his favorite people in this episode, and Michelle lost most of her draft team. Should we dare to take a look at the draft team right now? So from Matthew on Team Devil Time, he lost Amanda and Katie. How are you feeling about this, Matthew?
It's horrible. Just lost like the 2 people that are willing to speak their mind. 2 of the people willing to speak their mind. What do we have left? Is it like Tina and nobody else? I don't know. I'm looking at the cast. Like, I guess Cara, but Cara's not really like a drama girly. She more is just like in defense mode all the time. I think at this point, it's like, it really is kind of Tina and no one else really in that archetype. And everyone else is just like a meathead. Like, Era 4 was disgusting me tonight, where the confessionals were all like, we have to get rid of the drama. You're on a fucking TV show. Why do you want to get rid of the drama? Your livelihood is the show being good and getting called back. So why do you want to get rid of the people that make the show good just so you can do a wannabe Olympics? We don't need to see Casey, Jenny, who else is it? Who's the other? I mean, Michelle is not really like that. Like Casey and Jenny and like all these people that just are so into like the sport of it all.
Oh, Nurys.
Olivia, but I wouldn't say Olivia is like a meathead kind of Olympian, but when Casey was having those confessionals saying they have to get rid of the bad energy, it's like the bad energy is part of what makes the show good.
100%. I think they haven't figured that out yet. I think the problem is too, or well, for me anyways, is that I was reading a lot of the comments on our video from last week, and there are a lot of people that says that we have to trim the fat. We got to give the fans what they want. They want to see the strongest competitors at the end going head to head. And so maybe we're just in the minority and we aren't here. We're the only ones here for entertainment. And the majority of the fans really just want these head-to-head battles and these like really, Olympian style fighting that's happening.
I think there's like something to be said for something in the middle of that, because there are people who bring so much entertainment without any of the physical. That is like, I'd rather watch that than an athlete who isn't entertaining. And then there are people like Cara who are strong and bring at least drama or at least like something, interesting in their personality to the table. And sometimes it's like the tenacity and like the inner strength of somebody who isn't super, super athletic winning, being against the odds is like kind of what the challenge is about. So just see people who are like only care about the physical side is pointless.
I definitely agree. Go ahead.
Amanda even called it out this episode. Like she said, like I only ever get physical eliminations. It's like, okay, yeah, we watched 4 eliminations today, and 3 of them were strictly physical. One of them was physical mixed with endurance. But it's like, why? Like, if production is gonna cast this amazing cast of people of all different all different types of people. It's not just casting physical people. They're casting these drama people, but then immediately they're throwing 8 people into or 16 people into an elimination, but making all of the eliminations physical. They're basically saying we want to get rid of the drama people early that are not physical players. Otherwise, they would have put 2 puzzles, 2 physical, or they would have done a puzzle, an endurance, a strength. They could have easily done that. And for the people that do want these physical eliminations, like, hats off to you. We just got them all in one episode, and we're not going to get them for the next 2 months. So now you're going to see the physical people go into puzzles, and they're going to suck. Like Cory, for example, is good at physical stuff. Now that the physical stuff are gone, inevitably when he gets thrown into an elimination, because he's on the bottom of his era and he doesn't understand that, he's more likely to get a puzzle, and then Cory will go home. And all of this will be proven, all of Amanda's prophecy will be proven right. So it's just, to me, it's super frustrating that if you want to have 4 different eliminations, make them different skill sets. Don't just have 3 physical and 1 50-50 physical.
Totally agree. Now, at the beginning of this episode, we see all of them walking into the arena. Do we know if it's called the arena or if it's called something else here?
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just know the chambers where they have their discussion, but I didn't hear if they change it to, I don't know, the arena, gauntlet, something else. I was confused though, because I was like, wait, we see Tori talking about how Amanda's going to be going in against Nia, and I'm like, wait, did we see that happen? And so I was like, oh, maybe it started this episode in the middle or something. So I went back to the beginning. I was like, oh no, this is the beginning of it. Like, why do you think they decided to start the episode where they did and then jump back to all these flashbacks for this whole episode? Somebody new in the editing team?
It was clearly like a choice, an active choice they were making to do that whole thing where like you see the outcome and then you see the conversations. Like they've done that in like Big Brother before. every
They've
so
been doing
often.
it in Survivor as well.
And Survivor, sorry, yes. Survivor is where I remember it more recently. But I don't know. I found myself annoyed by it at times, but then other moments I was like, okay, I'm glad we're getting like some of this like tea afterwards, like Amanda fighting and then like Tina talking about it. Like I liked those moments, but I don't know. It was weirdly edited.
Yeah, it was all, I thought it was odd. I do appreciate seeing these parts, but like, couldn't we see then the conclusion of these deliberations? Why did we need to see it in a flashback or in a confessional? I just don't understand why we couldn't see it in real time, linearly. Anyways, so let's wait. What am I talking about here? So the people that bring down the losers, TJ is so rude. That being Katie, Mark from Era 1, Kellyanne and Ryan from Era 2, Naya and Leroy from Era 3, and Nurys and Theo from Era 4. I was reminded by the fact that I really do not like this lineup of people that are going to be going down no matter what. Whose idea was this? Does someone need to get fired?
Yeah, I think it's the worst twist in challenge history.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a worse twist than like they did. It's just so unnecessary. They're gonna have 20 episodes. All they have to do is get rid of 2 people a week, and you cut that down in 15 episodes, and you can still have a final of 10 people. So I just really don't understand it, especially with this cast. But yeah, the lineup was also obviously horrible too.
Horrible. So going against Katie is going to be Anissa. Now, another thing too that frustrates me with the fact that all of these are going to be physical, and they're trying to make it seem like it's super cool because they're doing the Era 1. It was the era where we see balls in for the first time, and Era 2 pole wrestling, and Era 3 we first see the hall brawl, and Era 4 is take shelter. It's like, okay, but couldn't we maybe disperse them throughout the season? Why did we need them all for this first thing? And the one thing that I hate the most about physical eliminations on the challenge is that people are not equally weighted and matched up. We talk about it all the time. If we're doing an Olympic type thing or a boxing type thing or a wrestling type thing, there are weight classes. So people aren't completely outsizing the other person where it becomes actually very dangerous. And so I don't understand why the challenge likes to take these liabilities where people at least 100 pounds over another person are competing in something physical where they can literally break their neck. Like it's inane to me. So annoying.
Yeah, agreed.
So annoying.
Like, yeah.
So we do learn that Laurel and Bananas are not able to see Cara as an asset, and she is going to be in. Laurel doesn't want her to be an anchor on her team. Do you think that Cara would be an anchor on Era 2? Maybe for the fact that they don't get along.
Definitely not. I mean, she's one of the best ever. She's the furthest thing from an anchor, in my opinion. I mean, she arguably would have won All Stars 4 if Laurel didn't have 17 advantages. So, I mean, I think Cara is the furthest from an anchor. And I mean, she's performed better than Bananas has in recent seasons. So, I mean, it's hard. I think definitely not. They just don't like Cara, so they're trying to play
like
down.
her attitude towards her is the anchor, exactly. Like it's her fixation on it. It's so like we're over it. Stop. Like you're now just beating her down where she's already so low. She doesn't have any, like, if she's annoying you, okay. If you like, if you think you're doing this for entertainment, that's not Laurel. So like you obviously feel this way, and it just comes across super vindictive and like just like we've seen this over and over. So it's much less interesting to me now. Because what's more interesting is how can I use her? How can we work together as much as we can? You know what I mean?
And then slice her at the end. You're big and bad. Like you'll be able to get her out later on in the game.
Because
you also know to have numbers.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
So Amanda and TJ are kind of laughing at Tori. I think that's actually pretty funny because it seems to me like TJ is more of an Amanda stan than a Tori stan.
Oh yeah.
Is it because
I don't know if more than Tori, but you can tell that he has a spot for Amanda.
Wait, you think that he likes Tori? Is that what you said? Sorry.
I don't know how he feels about Tori comparatively, but it's obvious that he likes Amanda, you know?
Sophie says even Amanda pointed out that Cory doesn't know Avery, but they didn't didn't they do a season together though? Cory and Avery season together.
Yeah, they probably did at some
It would have been
point,
like his first season was Invasions, wasn't it?
No, I think wasn't he on X's or Rival? I can't remember what was first. I think Rivals 3 was before, because he was on Rivals 3 with Ashley as his partner, which was the season before Invasions.
That was his first season though?
I think so. Yeah, I believe. Oh no, sorry. Wasn't his first season? His first season was the one that Cara Maria won, Bloodlines, because he was on it with his cousin Mitch.
That was his first season? I can't think of the order. I'm sorry, guys.
It's hard to remember the order. It was either Rivals 3 or Bloodlines. I thought it was I thought he made the final as a rookie. I could be wrong.
Well, anyways, I would not be keeping Avery safe for the fact that I don't know her, and like I do know Amanda, and he needs numbers. Amanda said it really well. Well, like not really well, but she's kind of yelling at him and telling him that he's stupid. But she's making a good point. They need each other. They need to stay together. If he's by himself, has nobody that's willing to yell at people to protect him or throw somebody else, like you said, he's going to be thrown in there as soon as they get the opportunity. Like he doesn't have any friends.
And it would have been so easy. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, good.
I was just gonna say it would be so easy for him to. All he'd have to do when he was voting is say to Tori,
she's my number one.
She's my number one then. Like if you're saying you get to pick the girl, then I pick Jordan. I pick Devin.
Exactly.
Okay, no? You're saying no? Okay, then Amanda's off the table. She's the one person off the table. We're gonna have to come to a compromise. So it's gonna have to be Avery then. Like all he had to do is step up and say that.
Do you know how hot? Like you saying that as Cory, I'm like, oh, Cory just got kind of good looking. Or having like a backbone.
Like it just would have been so easy. And like the reasoning for him is, oh, Amanda is someone that could win a daily at any point, and also it has my back and will have my back in any voting situation. So I don't know that about anybody else. And he knows Tori is very open about this, that she will always protect Devin and Jordan. So those two people ahead of him, like what is he thinking?
Cory,
that Amanda's not strong physically, and Avery comes across as stronger, and so
but why does that matter?
I know, I get it, but he's trying to keep his team strong. I think is where his head was going.
Whatever he's thinking, it's pathetic because he does not even consider, and he said to Amanda straight up, like, I'm building relationships so I can have number ones, and it's like, okay, well, if we have to go into an elimination as eras, Tori is never going to send in Jordan or Devin. So whoever wins between Tony and Leroy is going against you no matter what. It's like there's no other option. And the only way that we can change that is to get numbers on our side. And the only way we can get numbers on our side is to take numbers away from Jordan and Tori. The people working with Jordan and Tori are Devin, Jordan, Tori, obviously, Avery and Naya, who are friends with Jordan from a Real World Portland. They go back 10 years. So you make Avery and Naya go against each other. One of them is a number away from the core of the alliance. And then you have Tony, Amanda, and Cory. So now it's three. You have at least three people. Plus John A is potentially a swing. And who knows? Then you just need one more person. But Cory is now willingly saying, I will go into an elimination against Tony next time. And there's no other option because no one is ever sending in Devin or Jordan.
Exactly.
And it wants to know, please tell me what Amanda has ever done for Cory.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, the point is that it's clear that she doesn't, have anybody else's back but his. And she made that abundantly clear. So when that someone, you know what I mean? Like,
of course,
he doesn't have any other number ones. He has nobody else.
Taboo also says Cory and Amanda would have taken out Jordan and Tori. Get real.
Cory, what, in an elimination? I mean,
well, just like
Cory
if Cory had fought to keep Amanda, how would they be able to overtake Tori and Jordan?
Well, the point would be that they would have more people on their side. So like if they're winning, it's more votes, and it's also winning dailies. If they get to choose, then they have the option. Oh, say Amanda and Cory were to win a daily or something, then they could vote in Jordan, or you know what I mean? Like, it just gives them a little bit more.
You want to have as many members as possible on your side, whether it's a losing battle or not. Like, I'd rather have one person than be by myself.
This is just the same story that we've seen from Cory, where he like does what the powers that be want, the popular people want, and then he gets pissed when he is at the bottom eventually, and it happens every time.
And like, and want someone to make a move with him. Come on, we have to do this. And it's like, well, you voted out all the people that would have made that move with you, Cory.
I would honestly be completely shocked if Devin or Jordan saw an elimination before Cory. Like, Cory will 100% see an elimination before either of those.
He's next for Sierra 3.
Yeah, if they go era against each other, he's going in against Tony. And if the only way Cory might be okay is if it's eras going against other eras, then they'll throw Tony in first. But like, once Tony goes home, then it's still going to be Cory as the next one up. So that's the only way. Like, if he expects to just win every single daily and never be in jeopardy, sure. I mean, I doubt that will ever happen because it honestly never happens.
Sophie said Tori said that Nia did the Lord's work by getting rid of the devil Amanda. I mean, I wish that Tori just go and do it yourself. It's annoying, especially because Amanda's so small, and so it's frustrating that Tori gets what she wants with Amanda not even getting something even remotely close to her skill set, and it's not a great win, for her to be gloating over. It's Nia has what, 60 pounds on Amanda, 50 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And she's taller by probably like 6 inches. Like,
when Amanda got that first one, like, we're on their elimination, right? When she got that first one, I just felt so happy for her. And then when the thing like bounced out briefly, obviously, like, I figured it was going to go this way, but like, I just had that moment where I was like, oh my God, if she just knocked it out, like, fully, like, could you imagine? And that's what the people want. By the people, I mean me. But, yeah.
And me. And Matthew. I loved when Amanda says, like, she's pissed at Cory's pussy ass. Just so bad. I mean, she should be, but it was great. So we got the flashback to Amanda fighting with Cory, trying to make him see the light, and he's just getting louder and more bravado. But I thought she was speaking facts, and it doesn't matter keeping your team strong if you don't have the numbers, because eventually you're going to lose, and they're going to need someone to throw in that they don't have ties to, and it'll be a lot easier for them to do you, especially because you're stronger than, I'd say, than Tony is. I'd say, just for the fact that you've been on the show more recently, you've been to a final more recently than Tony has, and so they'd be like, let's get rid of him now because he's a threat for the final, and he'll go home. I mean, there's 0% chance that I see Cory winning this season. What are your percentages on Cory winning?
Cory winning
1.5.
Absolutely 0. I think 0. I don't see a scenario. I mean, he's going to have to see multiple eliminations in order to win. And again, we just saw all the physical ones in episode 1. So it's not like there's going to be no puzzles all season. There's going to be memorization stuff. So yeah, I don't have high hopes for Cory at this point.
And if it's not a team thing, like, he doesn't have anybody that's going to be helping him,
It's like with and without the team, like, him making this decision, it just guarantees his fate even more.
Willie says Amanda was right. Cory made a very dumb move, and he should have kept Amanda. He never learns from his lessons. He doesn't. Yes, he may have learned how to do puzzles, so he might be a bit better at puzzles, but he hasn't learned how to handle the social politics of the game. He doesn't realize there's power in numbers, and it's the way that he plays the game doesn't work, and he still hasn't learned that. It's quite wild. T-Bog says Cory has proven over multiple seasons that he can't make a strategic move that actually helps him in the long run. Yeah, exactly. Never. Tina loves the truth sayer in Amanda. Were you happy about this, Matthew? That our girl Tina knows who to stand?
Yeah, she's an honorary mean girl. Amanda's an honorary mean girl this season, but yeah, Tina knows what's up. I think a lot of the house is entertained by Amanda. It just so happens her own era doesn't like her too much, but I mean, I saw Nurys and Horacio were entertained by Amanda. I think a lot of other people would have been willing to work with her, but just based on this horrible format, just like, all right, the only people in power are Tori, who wants Amanda out, and Cory, who has no balls. So just a really tough draw for her.
T-Mog wishes we got more Tina and Amanda. So do we. Taboo is definitely a Tori stan and not an Amanda stan. Taboo says format changes to targeting people. Jordan is in danger, not Cory.
I honestly don't think Jordan's in any sort of danger whatsoever. He has so many people protecting him, and even if it does change, like the other big threats, like CT and Bananas, Darrell, they're all gonna say like, "Oh, the big threats need to work together," which is also the most tired and like boring gameplay ever. Where it's like, all right, all of the people that do every single season and always go to the end are just gonna work together and go to the end again, and Jordan's gonna be included in that. Plus, every woman is going to want Jordan as a partner. So no women are going to be incentivized to get Jordan out. So yeah, I don't think Jordan's in any sort of danger.
And especially with his list of exes on there. Dabu says the way that Amanda plays doesn't work, hence her constant early eliminations. It's hard to really agree with that for the fact that she's small. So if you're saying that the way that she plays the game is that she's a small person that people are not afraid of going up against in elimination, that's kind of, the biggest problem for Amanda. Like, yeah, she's scrappy. Yeah, she has a mouth. Yes, she gets thrown in because people aren't scared of her coming back. But I guess, what should she put on some weight and start like doing CrossFit? Is that what Amanda has to do? What do you think, Matthew?
I don't think so. I think there's like a myth about Amanda that she like goes home early all the time, and it's honestly just not true. Like she's only really gone home super early one time, and it was during a purge where, similar to this one, Jenna won the purge, and Jenna got to just send home 3 people right off the bat.
Yeah.
Jenna is someone else who hates Amanda, so immediately Jenna sent Amanda to the redemption house. But I mean, Amanda's been on plenty of seasons where she's made it pretty far. Like she lost an elimination to Tori right before the final. That was a physical elimination. She lost the one with Zach where they had no business going in elimination and probably would have made the final. So, oops. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I think my
we
camera.
can hear
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Amanda went home semi-early against Desi in USA 2, again, in a physical elimination. So I don't think it's her gameplay that's the issue. I think the fact of the matter is she just doesn't get cast on shows with her friends. And that's a huge problem because she's always outnumbered and has honestly still done fairly well for the most part. Invasions as well. She lost right before the final in a physical elimination against Nicole Zanata and Ashley Mitchell. So,
all right, the 3-way tug of war thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dabu says Camilla was small and mouthy and a 2-time champ.
Yeah.
Just like, crickets. Crickets. I mean, yeah, she's swollen mouthy. I definitely think that they have a different kind of build, a different kind of skill set. Amanda has been okay at some eliminations, but it's going to be things that are more agility based, where she gets to be either quick and small or puzzle based. Camilla does have the stature of, like, she's definitely scrappier, she's stockier, like she's a thicker girl. Definitely not the same type of body type as Amanda. Amanda's a lot more delicate, and I would say Camilla was a lot stockier and a little bit more like a Derek than, you know what I mean, if we're looking
Yeah, but
at
also
guys.
if Camilla was doing physical eliminations against Naya, Tori, and Desi, Camilla would have lost as well. So a lot of it is just luck of the draw. And again, that's like a big, like kind of what we're saying. It's a big problem here when it's like strictly physical. And then you're also sending in the people that are physically weaker or smaller. Like, yeah, they're gonna go home. Like what can you do? It's all size based. Like if you're in a hall brawl or a pole wrestle, I know Derek obviously is a different story, but like 9 out of 10 times the smaller person is going to lose and the person that weighs less is going to lose. So I mean, like, there's nothing Amanda can do about that. She's never going to be the same size as Desi, Tori, and Naya, and those are the people she's facing in physical eliminations.
Yeah, that's brutal, to be honest. So Michelle says that they were going to be giving Theo and Nurys who they wanted, with that being Paulie for Theo and Olivia for Nurys. Now, I don't think that Nurys really had a good person other than maybe Michelle to go up against in a hall brawl. But do you think that Nurys could have maybe have won Take Shelter against Olivia?
Yeah, definitely. I think
That's the only one, yeah.
That's the only one. Or, well, I would say Shelter would be her highest chance of success. It could go either way. And then I think with the balls in, there's a chance, just because of like Nurys's speed. Like, you never know. You know what I mean? Like, we saw Amanda get a point. So like, it's possible Nurys could have figured out a way. Although I still would probably lean towards Olivia, but yeah, she got the worst option for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't think that she would have been able to beat Casey or Jenny. Well, definitely not in a hall brawl, and not in pole wrestle, not in balls. Well, maybe balls in. Yeah, that's the other outlier. That's it. Yeah.
No, I think Nurys would have got. I think Nurys would have lost to all three in anything except maybe Take Shelter, just because there is some strategy element there. Like, I mean, we saw Ryan obviously is not as physically dominant as Brandon, but was still able to win. So I do think there's strategy there. Plus, I think Nurys may have got more help than Olivia potentially, especially from Horacio and Kyland, who are very good at eliminations as well. So I could see that, but anything where it's just like it's just speed and strength, I think Nurys probably would have lost.
Yeah, better for Nurys to go against Olivia than Casey, or even worse, Jenny. Yeah, just the draw sucks for her era. Like, her being, that's not her skill set. Power against somebody 100 pounds heavier than her. It's just like.
But Nurys has a lot, as we know, tons of options for eliminations that she can win. Like puzzles, obviously, and climbing ones, ropey type ones, like agility type ones. Like, she definitely has a lot of types of eliminations she can be good at.
But none of which were in the 4 options that were given to us this second episode. Yeah. Couldn't they have been like, oh, when we saw this puzzle for the first time, like, that could have been a little bit more entertaining, but they want these headbangers first episode. So did you understand why they chose the order of, like, was it how they finished? With which era was
random
going to
order.
It was a
I
random
think they just
ran. Yeah,
because they were facing the other direction and they would like pull one out, and that's what they were doing. I don't know why they did that. I thought it was just going to be, all right, in era 1 we introduce this elimination. So yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. And each era was doing the elimination.
Something about era 3, something. I didn't rewind it though. I thought you guys were. Yeah. Well, Era 3 is going to be first, and they're going to be doing balls in. So there was like a slight hope for Amanda, but balls in, Amanda versus Naya? Like, come on. Naya literally is twice her size. Not happy. Amanda thinks it's two frauds in a pod with Cory and Tori. She definitely has the bars tonight. I love pissed Amanda. It's pretty fun. So Naya is really happy that she did pretty well in this elimination, and she's gonna be, if she does take out Amanda, she said that Tori's gonna owe her one. Do you think that Tori will repay that to Naya?
I mean,
no.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because if it is same era eliminations, like obviously I would imagine, and maybe John A and Avery get put in before Naya again. I could see that, but yeah, maybe. I think Jordan will definitely protect Naya. Therefore, Tori probably will too.
So Amanda does get the first point, which was the slight chance that Sophie is recognizing here. It was really hard to watch though after that, because like Naya just is able just to like fling her out of the way, and she just like goes flying and just puts the ball in. At one point I thought that it bounced out, but then it came back from the commercial break and it was in. And then Naya gets the third point, and Amanda is done so. And just seeing Tori so happy was just so annoying. Sorry, Debu. I thought it was annoying. Tori's so excited. Okay. This is what I thought. This was the best part of the Naya elimination, or Amanda elimination by Naya. When we hear this like sexy, like boom, 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 music going, and he's like, ooh, the passion, the love, the drive of Naya. And all of a sudden, Kylan has little heart eyes going up over Naya. And then Josh has heart eyes over Naya, and it's the sexy music playing. And we do see Josh and Naya getting cozy in the water. And we also see Naya making out with Kylan on the sun deck or whatever. And we do hear in the first episode Naya saying that she is not against politicking. So do you think there's going to be anybody else on Naya's roster?
I mean, wait, so is it confirmed that, because we've seen clips of it from the future of the season, right, with her and Kylan?
Correct.
And
there was a clip of her and Josh in the water.
Oh.
Like looking close. Matthew thinks that it might be a fake out, like when it was Josh and Cassidy in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
That's her name, right? Cassidy?
Yeah, until I see it, I mean, I think she'll use the flirt for sure, which like go off. It seems like she's more.
Do you think that Josh is gonna get some play?
No, I don't. I definitely
but probably
don't
not.
So I think like maybe they'll have like one kiss, but I feel like it's gonna be Naya more so with Kylan than Josh.
I mean, it looks like she actually is going to be pursuing something with him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, they're smooching. That music is hilarious. So then we see a flashback of Leroy cutting Brandon's hair and thinking that it sucks that he was going to have to go against Tony. And when I saw this flashback with Leroy and Brandon, I was starting to get worried, because I was like, they're just trying to get in all this content that they can, because what are both of them? Well, definitely the three of them in the room. Not all of them are going to come back, but yeah, I was getting worried already for Leroy. So Leroy's up next. We see Bananas is going to be cheering for Leroy. Obviously, they've been friends for a really long time, but he's also friends with Tony. How did you feel about Tony being upset that Bananas was cheering for Leroy in the elimination?
I mean, Tony should understand, because like didn't Tony vote him in at that one point or whatever?
Yeah, they had a little thing.
They had a thing. And I mean, like, I don't know.
T-Mog says that they were talking to a friend about it and would absolutely love to see Amanda on a season of Survivor. How would we feel about this?
I think she would do very well.
Maybe not a new
It'd be
era because
interesting.
it's
Not new. Well,
small
yeah.
tribes is not her. It wouldn't be in her favor.
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
basically
it
in
would.
a small tribe right now, right? So
Mhm. Yeah.
Amanda on Survivor would be quite interesting because I could see her like without like sleep and food, just being very agitated, um, which would be
True.
entertaining for sure. But I do think like definitely like the challenges on Survivor are probably more in line with her strengths, which I think could be good for her. Um, not as much just like pure physical stuff, and I definitely think she'd be very fun. I wonder, like, I think Traders would be a great show for Amanda too.
Mhm.
House of Villains, like something more like light, but
Yeah.
because like we saw Trishelle on Traders and she was one of the best competitors there. I think Amanda could similarly to Trishelle be like very good in that sense, and also just provide at the round table. So
Mhm.
that's where I'd like to see Amanda personally. I think that could be really fun, and I think she could do well.
I would love that. Hopefully she gets the call. That would be fun if she got the call to do the Traders or even the goat. Bloody Money here wants to know if we've seen the video of Jordan questioning production. Yes. Have you seen it, Michelle?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna play it anyways because it's pretty good. Let me know if you can hear it.
She don't do it, the houses are even too nice. Like whatever, just don't tell us it's gonna be a mansion on that, right? So like that shit's neither here nor there. I want fairness. I want production to take the game as seriously as we do because why are we all here? Why are you here? Why are we here? It's to compete and it's to watch us compete and it's the drama that comes out of competing against these people over and over again and our relationships and how those grow, intertwine. Some get broken, some come back. It's like it's this whole thing, right? But at the end of the day, the root is we're here to compete. And when that is infringed upon, that is when I just lose my shit. Ryan Keough, he touched on it, and uh, one of the rules they were very, very clear about. They said, all right, once you get to your boat, you got to stay in your boat. You cannot swim because you know what my first idea was? I'm gonna fall out of the boat and I'm gonna swim because I will smoke everyone if we can swim. So immediately they go, no, you must stay in your boat at all times. You cannot swim. If you swim, you will be defeated. Them's the rules, dog. Them's the rules. They said it. That's just what I heard, right? That's what everybody else heard. But I get it. If your boat sinks, you're gonna keep going, and if the ref gives you a pass, you're not gonna argue, right? You're not like, hey, well, no, I'm actually out. No. So it's not on us. That's shit that we can't control. I gotta touch you here. Just control what you can, and I can't control that, right? So I try not to get mad, but it's hard because I'm out here putting reputation, body, mind, everything, on the line, my career, all the stuff that I've left at home because I think that we've all got a fair shake at winning this thing. So these puzzles. Now, I was gonna let it slide. I was gonna let it slide, but then I saw this whole CT pro tip thing, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. So it's one thing when they mess up, but it's another thing when they like use it to try and make you look like a fool. So this puzzle, it's a 3D. It's a 3D puzzle. It's a full.
Oh, that's. Do you have the rest of it anywhere? No. Anyways, that's all we really wanted to hear. Um. Yeah, Jordan, I think, is lucky that he's able to speak out against production because, like, a lot of other people would be banned. Why do you think that Jordan gets a pass?
Because he's one of the greats. He can do what he wants. It's I mean, it just I guess that is what it is. Like he's earned the right to speak out because he knows that he's guaranteed a callback. Um,
And he doesn't need
yeah,
it,
Jordan did have
at this point.
Yeah, it's now they want him, and so he'll say yes or no. He's not begging to be on the show, so he'd be like, "Well, you want me? you know. Bloody Money also says that Jordan even mentioned that he did offer to do another reality show, but Bun and Murray production will not allow it, and they didn't want him to get any bigger and have more negotiating power.
Well, I think he said
Production's
in the
annoying.
past that was the case. I don't know if it's still the case, because I know some of these people now have like non-exclusivity clauses in their contract. I mean, obviously we've seen Bananas and CT go elsewhere. So I wonder if Jordan is one of those people as well, where now if he was called to do another show, if he'd be able to. I feel like I would guess that he probably could, but that's just strictly a guess at this point.
So I think Evans, like you, Matthew, just knows that Ashley if she had had Avery's spot, would have won, and then she would have had Nia versus Tori and Balls In. Oh,
Yeah, to be honest, I think if Ashley was here, they would have just thrown Ashley in first.
no, but
I
they
still
said
think
that
Tori
she
would have
would
won.
have won, right? Do you think she would have beat Tori?
No, I
the daily?
personally don't.
She would have been
I
faster with
think
the puzzle.
like maybe slightly, but I feel like Tori would have done better with the paddling still. I personally just think they would have put in Ashley against Nia, and Ashley probably would have went home first, which would also have been awful. But at least then we would have had at least 2 episodes of Ashley plus Amanda for however many more episodes. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Ashley would have won that.
People's money on Ashley. Nia versus Tori would have been bananas. That would have been good TV, in my
I
opinion.
think Tori would have won that too, to be honest. Like as much as I would have, like as much as I hate to say, like both, I think Tori would have won the daily and the elimination. But I do think Tori would have beaten the fact that Amanda got 1 point on Nia. I feel like Tori like definitely could have got 2 points.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though if Nia, like, if you're going against someone smaller, you're not going to go full strength, I don't think. And so I wouldn't be surprised if she was holding back just a little bit with Amanda because she's so small. Like, you just don't want to be powering through somebody that's half your size. It just, I don't think it would feel good. But I'm not a person that likes.
I don't know. I probably would put my money on Tori for that elimination, but it could go either way. I just think, I don't know, Nia's strategy sometimes in eliminations is not always like the best. But like when she figures it out, she's super strong, you know? So I don't know.
Bulldoze? Don't say bulldoze.
I don't know, bulldoze. But I probably she probably would beat her. I don't know.
Wild West wants to know if the circle around the basket was a new twist. Yeah, so it just had to be in, like, once you got into the circle with the ball in your hand, then you could just put it in the basket?
I think
they did it in they did it in Ride or Dies too. It was the same thing with like Nani and Anissa, where it's like, oh, you just have to get inside the inner circle and then you automatically put the ball in, which I don't really, I'm guessing it's because they don't want people to like break their hands. Like I think Cara Maria broke her hand when they were just shoved in, but like it just makes like if that's the case, that's fine. But just don't have that as the elimination then. Just do a different elimination. We don't need to see half of a balls in when we're already getting 2 physical ones. So I definitely don't love the change to balls in there because it's literally just, all right, get inside the inner circle and you win.
Yeah, boring. So Tony at one point was up 1 point, and then I wrote, wow, Leroy is out first. That's disastrous. And it really annoyed me how happy Devin was about this. Like Devin's harboring this anger that he had from when he pit him and Josh against each other. I was frustrated with Devin about this because now he has this newfound power that he could be like, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I'm like, yes, Leroy lost that. And, you know, I saw that happening and, you know, he deserved to lose in the circumstance. But like, he's been there. He's done way more seasons than Devin. He hasn't won. He didn't win that season that he screwed you over so badly and pitted you against Josh. And he's so conniving because he did this one thing, like when he's one of the most honest players ever. And he didn't even win. So like,
and he was with Casey at that time, right? And he's forgiven Casey. No?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember when that happened in the game and whatnot, but that season he was partners for most of the time with Casey, correct?
I think that Devin just can't deal with the fact that somebody else outmaneuvered him mentally ever in the game. Like that he was like tricked into something, because like he's the one that does that to other people. I don't think he likes being in the opposite position. So I think it's like he just, I don't know, but it just sounded so very like high and mighty, and I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan, but he's still funny sometimes.
So Era 1 is going to be doing a pole wrestle, and Anissa's so happy, and I'm like, Anissa, you weigh 100 pounds more than Katie, and you're happy to get a pole wrestle? I mean, I guess it's happy knowing that you're most likely going to stay in the game, but like, you're going against someone so small. I wouldn't be satisfied with that. I don't know. Maybe you think differently when you're in a game like that and you just want any advantages that you can. But I just wouldn't be able to do a pole wrestle or something physical with somebody who I had a size advantage against. I don't think I could do it. Am I not meant for this game? Would you do it?
No.
I guess like you kind of have to at that point, but yeah, I mean, if I'm Anissa, I'm probably happy there too, knowing it's just another win on your tally, and it's yeah, it's like no sweats, like barely, probably doesn't have to take a shower after. Just a nice quick easy win, and it counts for the record book.
Can't overlook anyone. Well, okay, yeah, I get it. Devin also won. Devin is different though. That like he's an anomaly. Out of all these
Derek
people.
is he has played pole wrestle specifically so many times. He has the strategy. He literally won't budge. He is, I mean, eliminations are what he does best, and he uses his size. He had himself covered so perfectly well, you know, that like Mark is so big, couldn't get at him. And yeah, I'd always put my money on Derek in a pole wrestle. He just knows it so well.
Reddit's not in favor here is saying that someone on Twitter was saying that Devin is trying to hype up the rivalry with Leroy for All Stars 5. Really? Like we've seen now that Leroy doesn't have the sauce right now.
But this was also filmed before All Stars 5. So I feel like they're partners on All Stars 5 because of this. That's the only
That's what they're
thing
saying,
I
think.
of.
Oh, to hype, maybe help the rivalry, like maybe, or like that.
But if he was trying to help it, why wouldn't he call him out like to his face so that there's like drama that they can show? I don't know.
Maybe they just didn't show it. I don't know. These producers don't necessarily know what to show in the episode.
Well, I think Devin actually said like, "Hey, like this is perfect because I wanted him out, but I didn't have to like do the dirty work, so I'm happy here." So I think it was like more strategy. Like maybe he doesn't want to piss off like Bananas people by going after Leroy. So I actually think for Devin, obviously, like if this is what he wanted, like to not work with Leroy, honestly, Devin came out looking really good here. Yeah. And now he also doesn't have to juggle the relationship between Tori and Amanda. So I actually think Devin is a pretty big winner in tonight. Just with how things unfolded, I think it's looking pretty good for Devin.
Lena, we also love Red is Not a Flavor. So everybody in the chat, please, firstly, like this video, but secondly, make sure that you subscribe to Red is Not a Flavor, always doing an amazing and super funny content-wise job on, the challenge. He has some really great videos. So make sure you subscribe and check it out for sure. For sure. So Derek has a baby on the way. Did I know that? I don't know if I knew that. I thought he just got married, but I didn't know that he had a baby coming. Of course, Mark is still, doing these challenges for his mom. His mom has been fighting cancer for the last 4 years. And so his mom loves seeing him on TV. So he's on the show for her and then obviously to help them out. But we know that Derek is going to win the pole wrestle against Mark. Not that Mark couldn't do it. I just think that they're too close of a friend. I think that yes, Derek is scrappy, but I just don't think that Mark wants it as much as Derek does. And yes, he put in a good fight, but Derek was going to win that no matter what, I think. Don't think there was any chance that, anybody else would have won. Okay, so Derek wants pole wrestle on his grave. Do you think that that's a good marker for his tombstone?
2-2 in pole wrestle, and just put that on the grave.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess he lost against Jaws. But it was that one.
No, he didn't lose against Jaws.
Sorry, what do you mean 2-2?
He lost to Wes and Nehemiah.
Oh, Wes and Nehemiah. Right, Joss is the one where he was bloody, and it was wild that Joss lost because he was so much bigger. And then he won all those ones in, what was it, the Gauntlet?
Yeah, not pole wrestle, but yeah, he's 2-2. It's weird. So Derek beat the two bigger guys in pole wrestle, and then the two smaller guys. Not that Wes is small or Nehemiah is small, but smaller were the ones that beat him. So maybe
Nehemiah
really
beat
good
him. I forgot about
Nehemiah
that.
In All Stars, All Stars 3 was it, or 2, 3?
Yeah, one of the All Stars. He beat him very easily too. The Wes and Derek one was tight.
Say it again.
The Wes Derek one was a really good elimination that Wes ended up winning. But yeah, it's weird. Derek's really good at tiring out these bigger guys because Derek does have obviously a pretty good motor to him. So I think he's really good with the oversized guys. But yeah, when it's guys a little bit smaller, he has actually lost twice, surprisingly.
So we get a flashback of Aneesa and Rachel talking because Aneesa is so upset that Rachel, someone that she's dated and she's loved and she's known for 20 years, is going to actually allow herself to be in a position where she could get voted in, and that there's no world that CT would not try to get her eliminated from the game. She's so pissed and upset, and Tori's there while she's having this conversation with Rachel, and she's like, I just need to talk to Tori. And Rachel just kind of yeah, whatever, man. She didn't seem to care.
I just wish, I know, I understand totally why Rachel went about it the way that she did, but Rachel just needs to be like Tina, like Amanda. She just needs to say yeah, you're the weakest link on the team, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm sorry, but it's happening, and I'm putting that above our friendship, I suppose. She just needs to own it a little bit, because she's trying to pretend oh, I gave the decision to what? Just own it a bit more. But obviously, it was going to be that,
Wild West here says,
yeah,
it's Jay West from I Watched You on Sequester. I'm just realizing that it's you. Well, thanks for joining us here in the chat. You should come on sometime and talk about the challenge. So Rachel's reasoning was so shitty, though. Why let CT pick the girls? Shake my head made no sense, because she just wanted to absolve any responsibility of making that choice, but she agreed with it. She agreed with the choice.
Yeah,
she agreed with the choice.
At the end of the day, she's closer with Tina as well, and Tina did better than her in the thing. There's all the reasons, so... Who was the other option?
Jody.
Oh, well, right.
That was the part I found a little weird, though, because Rachel was saying yeah, if we put in Jody, it would ruin the whole vibe of the team. To me, that was more offensive than just actually putting Aneesa in. So Aneesa's probably thinking wait, so putting me in, nobody cares if I go home, because they obviously don't know what the elimination is. It could have been endurance, and she could have lost, but. That was to me, that was funny. It's well, yeah, everyone is going to be pissed if I put in Jody. So sorry, Aneesa, you're done.
Yeah, she should have just been the truth. And I think the real truth is that Jody is stronger for the team physically. That's the reality. Yeah. And she wasn't willing to say that. But I agree with you. When she said me, it's almost worse.
So Rachel's an Aquarius. Woo, woo, woo. I think she's not going to bring in all Aneesa's going to harbor these things, right? She's going to be thinking about them, and Rachel just is going to be I don't care that much, and let it go. But Aneesa's just going to let it kind of fester, and so I don't think that Rachel actually cares, to be honest.
No.
And she's just pretending like she does. and thinks that Aneesa should probably get over it, but she's not going to. Wes says, I would love that every Wild West Wednesday I rant on TikTok about the challenges on my live, but I would love that. Yes, come on anytime. Come on anytime. What are you embarrassed about? Sequester? Anyways, I think we've all watched Sequestered. We watched many of them. Anyways, 2020 was like the era of Sequester for sure.
I had never heard of it until then, but yes, I have.
I hadn't either, or maybe I'd heard of it because Taryn used to talk about it with Brent on RHAP, so I had heard about it, and then sorry. Well, you have your photo and your last name. I put 2 and 2 together. But anyways, we will stop embarrassing you then, and then you can come on and talk with us and be embarrassed that way. Wild West says, I've never heard of RJP till they interviewed me both seasons. Exactly. I heard of Sequester through RJP, and yeah. And I saw your interviews, and I saw you on the show. Yay. Yeah, perfect. I'll message you. I'll tweet at you. Okay, so, Aneesa, of course, is going to do really well. She gets the first point here against Katie. Katie was fighting, though. She was pretty scrappy. People were really on Team Katie here, I felt. But then I see Aneesa slam her, and I was like, okay, well, hopefully Katie gets up. How'd you feel watching this, Matthew?
It was funny. I mean,
funny?
I like Katie just constantly. It was funny. I thought it was fun to watch her just repeatedly like wrap her legs around her, like kicking her in the face. I knew she had no shot, but I came away like somewhat impressed, and I like that like Katie just didn't. Honestly, I was scared Katie was just gonna say like, no, I'm not even doing it. Just like I'll go home. It's fine. So the fact that she at least tried and like got a few kicks in, I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think if it had been a hall brawl, Katie might have been like, I'm not doing it. Or like, you know what I mean? Like that would have been pointless. I honestly think if they had gotten the what's the final one called with the rope?
Take Shelter.
Take Shelter. Weird name. Okay. If they had gotten that one, I would have honestly put my money on Katie if she had not given up and like, really gave it her all. I think she could have won that one.
Debu says, Debu thinks that Rachel respects Jody as a fellow dual champ, better to compete with. Absolutely. She knows that Aneesa isn't great for their team, that even Katie, she might not be the best competitor, but she's light and small. So if there's anything where size and agility and getting into small spaces, Katie might be better to be working with, and definitely Jody can hold her own in pretty much anything, except for something super duper physical against somebody 100 pounds heavier than her. So if I was Rachel, I'd be like, well, if we can get rid of Aneesa, that might be okay. And let's just make CT do it so I can pretend not to be the bad guy. But she agreed 100% with that decision.
And she'll do it again.
Aneesa's so upset. Boom. Okay, so then we get a flashback to Cara telling Paulie about the fact that Laura let her know that she's going to be going in. Cara is bored and disappointed in Laurel and Bananas, and they have a bit of a screaming match from, I guess, I don't know, what do you call it? In the compound, in the cafeteria to the bedrooms. They're kind of yelling.
It's like Romeo and Juliet a little bit with Bananas
on the balcony.
Bananas on the balcony.
It was so ridiculous. That fortress is wild. I don't think it's nice. It's just very big. But so Bananas is saying the timing is everything to me, and the timing of Cara wanting to lay down their swords and work together to Bananas was too little too late. How do you feel about this, guys?
I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked that they did this. I cannot believe that they did this.
Fanta had messaged me and she's like, there's no way that production is going to let them put Cara into elimination first round. I was like, I mean, I hear what you're saying. And I was letting her know that both you and Matthew thought that she would. And so I'm going to have to tell her, well, she's going to see that you guys were right. Production does not care about Cara.
Production only cares about protecting Bananas, CT, and Jordan. They only care. Yeah, Devin a little bit, I'd say. Well, Devin definitely got protected. As we just heard Jordan speak, that Devin should have been in the elimination automatically. So yeah, I guess Devin to an extent, but I think production definitely cares more about protecting the men than even the face on the women's side of things.
Yeah, I agree.
It is quite shocking though, because I think Cara, as much as she can annoy me sometimes, she brings a lot to the season. So it's surprising that, some other people get their protection, and like even Josh seems to get more protection than Cara does, which is
but also she's not someone who necessarily like sees how much worth she has for the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because she wasn't there for a while and stuff. It's like she doesn't stand in that power as much as some of the men who are like, I'm so important. Like, of course, I'm going to say this. I'm going to do this. Like, you need me. You want me. I feel like she's not the kind of person to necessarily be that way to like production and stuff. She's going to be more like, oh, So I feel like that probably has something to do with it, I would think.
Now, how did you feel about Laurel saying to Bananas and Kellyanne that she feels guilty about this move that she's made against Cara? And Kellyanne was like, that's human. But do you think that was real?
I thought she was saying she feels guilty because she feels bad for Kellyanne having to go against Cara. Was that not? It was she actually feels bad for Cara?
I thought it was bad for Cara, but that makes more sense.
Because she was saying it to Kellyanne. I thought she was saying like, oh, I feel guilty that you have to go against Cara. Like, I thought, but maybe I'm wrong.
Why would Kellyanne though say like feeling guilty is healthy?
Just
what do you think, Matthew?
I don't know.
I was kind of getting the impression that she felt guilty for Kellyanne as well.
Okay.
Just putting her in a tougher spot. But yeah, because I mean, obviously the other option would have been Aviv, which on paper at least is
much easier for Kellyanne. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Honest. She was not, I don't think she was feeling bad for Cara. I don't think she at this point.
Yeah, I think it was more like, hey, like if it's a hall brawl or pole wrestle. Like Kellyanne,
so yeah, maybe I just was now if I think back of the scene, being like, oh man, like I like you, Kellyanne. Like I feel kind of guilty for putting Cara in because of you. Okay.
Like she could have let it slide till the next week or two and just put Kellyanne against Aviv, who she doesn't know, give Kellyanne a fighting chance because there's more similar stature, blah, blah, blah. And then like Laurel, she's so strong, she wins so much, get her out along the road. Like even if it's week 2 or 3, like that's still so early for Cara to potentially go home. So she didn't have to make this decision at this point. And if she had wanted to make a different decision and put Aviv in, I don't see Bananas being like, we have to. Like he probably still wants to put Cara in, but if Laurel said differently, then, who can say?
So Simog was kind of got the immediate impression that I got that she feels guilty for Cara because Laurel likes to be mean to Cara, but not so mean that Cara won't come back. Yeah, I just thought that I don't know. In that moment, I thought that it was being mean, like that she was kind of kicking Cara when she didn't have to. But now that you enlightened me, I think I agree that it was more so that her need to punish Cara actually jeopardized Kellyanne's position in the game.
Yeah. And like she doesn't want her back. I don't think she likes doing seasons with Cara at this point.
No.
I think she likes to be the strong, like I don't think she wants to be having Cara with her on any season anymore.
Yeah, this was filmed after it was filmed after All Stars 4. I hate that it was all weirdly ordered. Right? It was filmed before 39, after. Anyways, it was filmed after she won, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Something that really pisses me off about mostly Bananas, to be honest, is all the guy does is talk about how he's like a cast member and producer, and he's always trying to like produce the best moments. Like he will vote, he'll keep people in the game and work with people that will make better TV. And it's like the guy is so full of shit when he says that stuff, because in what world is trying to get Cara Maria out, creating better TV and being a producer than Aviv? Like nobody knows who Aviv is. Aviv like is barely gonna talk this season. And like Bananas will always say, like, oh yeah, you have to keep like the big players because like we know how to produce a show, we know how to create entertainment. It's like, dude, you're trying to get Cara out the first chance you get, and you're putting Cara in against Kellyanne, who's also very entertaining. The thing about like Bananas that I really don't like sometimes is I feel like Bananas like thinks that he is the only entertaining person in the challenge universe. And when he says things like that, what he's really saying is don't vote me out in future seasons because I'm entertaining, but I'll do it to you if I think it benefits my game, which is just so fucking frustrating. And I just anytime he says it, and I listen to his podcast because I like the guests that are on it, but I cringe every single time he starts talking like that because it's so obvious he's just like catering to people for future seasons. But like Cara gets thrown in here, he won't hesitate to throw in someone like Amanda or Nurys. Like he's already talking about Horacio and Nurys being cringe because he knows that a couple like that will get airtime and that's going to take airtime away from him. He wants Cara out because Cara takes airtime. He has all this beef with Wes over years in CT because they take airtime from him. And I get it. Like it is his life, but it's just to me, it's so obvious. And I hate how like people get sucked into that when he gives them that BS.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Willie says Banana talk about a product or entertainment, but yet want to keep people like KZ and Josh, who can be boring at times. Josh can be entertaining a little bit at times, for sure.
You know what? I actually want to give Josh like a lot of credit. I do think Josh is a pretty good player. Now, physically, he's not the best, but I actually think Josh tries hard. He cares about the game and he's willing to be entertaining and try to make moves. Like he'll never win, but like I think Josh has improved quite a bit as a character on the show.
Okay, Devu's calling us out some more. So on All Stars 5, everyone moaned about Cara versus Laurel's storyline. Now we're saying that we want it? No, well, I'm not saying that we want that necessarily. I more so disliked the Cara versus Laurel with the Nicole element. Like, that was a little bit much. And I don't care that much about this Cara Laurel storyline rivalry within the game, but it seems when it gets kind of to the personal level with like relationships and people like that type of stuff, when it gets to low blows and it gets like very uncomfortable to watch, that's what I don't like. So when this rivalry gets to the level where it looks like it's going to get further down into the season, I don't enjoy that at all. But I don't mind right now Laurel and Bananas being a little bit petty over like that. I can deal with that, but I can't deal with the screaming on the top of your lungs about Nicole and then bringing up Cara's relationship. You know, I can't deal. This stuff I can complain about it, but I don't mind it. You know, stuff.
Yeah. Every time I think about Nicole, I just no.
Fred does not find Josh entertaining. I don't dislike him as much as I used to. We can say that. We know that Nicole has hooked up with Melissa. That's happened in the past, right? And like they've been hanging out recently. So.
I mean, yeah. Confusing.
Yeah, see, exactly. Timon is agreeing here. Laurel takes it to a personal level with Cara, and that's what we don't like. I'm fine with Cara versus Laurel in gameplay. Exactly. Like, it's fine. That's fine. I agree over Carl and Laurel in the bullying. Yes, when Laurel when that happens, I don't like that dynamic. But this stuff, this is fine. I can deal with it. All right. Michelle does walk over and tell Paulie that it's going to be him, and it was her decision. I was like, okay, interesting time. Error 4 chooses the hall brawl. And I was like, oh, look at them showing all of Paulie's credentials of why he's, such a big, important person in the challenge, and showing how he was a fearless, badass competitor, because he's likely going to be going home. Actually, well, we knew that he was going to be going home because we saw that the love story of him and Olivia had not, developed yet. And so we hadn't seen them kissing at the pool yet.
Yeah. This was the most obvious one, obviously. I mean, most of them were obvious, but yeah. I was like, why am I even watching this at this point? I had to look away, honestly.
Well, Theo just bashes into Paulie and then just walks over to the button. I was like, yikes. Like, what was Bananas, I think, saying that Paulie's body or soul just left his body. He got hit that hard. Like, that was a hit. Everyone was kind of stunned.
He said he got concussion from that. So he got concussed, which really sucks. And again, like, goes back to your weight, the weight discrepancy thing. It's like, yeah, when you put someone that's 250 pounds, 6'5" against a guy that's 5'8" and 170, like, doesn't seem very fair. And he obviously left with a brain injury, so.
Well, and we hated the Rogan versus Jay balls in, where he was left concussed as well, I believe, and broken ribs, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's not fun to me. That's not what I want. Is that what the people want? I mean, I did like Theo beating Paulie, but I don't want him to be concussed over it. Like, that's not fun. Yes, I heard that Olivia's tattoo was fake because she was kind of making a mockery out of Nurys getting an H tattoo for Horacio. So I heard that it was fake, but maybe it was actually real, and she was saying it was fake so that people would stop maybe bugging her about it. Do you know either way, Matthew, or no?
Yeah,
if it's fake or not?
I think it's fake, but I don't know for sure.
And then for the next round, I was like, yeesh, Theo steps on Paulie's face. I was like, oh my God, ouch, it's so bad. But then Olivia is fully turned on while she's applying her lip gloss with Theo flinging Paulie. Yeah, she's definitely got into him from after this elimination. Do you think that they're going to go the long haul? Are they going to get married? How long do you think this relationship is going to last? What's the over under?
I mean, is it together? Are they together now? I don't know.
Yeah, they're still together.
Oh,
I'm gonna take I'm gonna say no on marriage. I'll say, I don't know. We'll see if they do more seasons together. I actually think they probably will do more seasons together. I don't see Olivia going anywhere, and I'd say maybe they last a year.
A year. So do you think that they'll still be together by the premiere of 41?
I think it just depends when 41 is. Like, if 41 doesn't film for like 6 months, then they might not be together. But if they film in like 2 months and they're both on it, then like, yeah, I think they'll be together.
I'm talking about when it goes to air. So a year from
41?
right
now. No, probably not, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think.
No offense to them, but
I do think that they were going to last a decent amount of time because he's very good looking. He's very tall. He's very funny. He's very British. He has all the things that would make, and he's like, does well in the challenge. We know that she likes the challenge, like people that are good. I don't know how she ended up with Nelson. I think she thought that he was going to be a better person for her game, but I think that she's going to ride with Theo. And they're a Taurus Cancer combination, which is the best combo. So they might actually like each other. Okay, so we see Nurys crying in her confessional, and we know that they film these confessionals after they do their event. So It's clear that Nurys is going to be losing here, and who thinks that Nurys is going to win a hall brawl? Nobody, including Horacio, who we do see in a flashback talking to Michelle about how that she has the best chance against Olivia, and that's what they are going to be doing. So I'm happy that he stood his ground and that Michelle let it happen. I wish that we had seen how Michelle, why didn't Michelle fight harder is my question.
Because she wants to keep up relationship with Nurys as well. And Horacio is someone who is going to be winning things. So strategically, there has to be something there, I think. And I don't know. Maybe Olivia told her it was okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I get the feeling Olivia probably said hey, do what you have to do. And that probably didn't make air. It's if you need to put me in, that's fine. I'll go in. Also, I don't think Michelle is in the business of pissing off Casey and Jenny. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much she really wants to fight it when Olivia's not begging her not to go in. Also, we talked about it last week. I think Horacio would straight up say hey, if you don't put in who I want, I'll just go in and you can go in as well. And I don't think Michelle is ever going to do that. So whereas Horacio would actually do that. So I could see it being a combination of that and Olivia just kind of taking it on the chin.
So like T-Bog here is saying, Olivia thinks that this will hopefully end their rivalry, their angst against each other. I don't see how that will, but Olivia gets the first round. Then we see Nurys dragging Olivia in that hall brawl. I was pretty happy about that. I wish that she dragged her halfway, kicked off her arms, and ran and hit the bell. I was just hoping that she could have strategically done something to get at least a point. But Olivia wins the second round, and that means Nurys is going home. Matthew, more broken hearts here for you.
I mean, I lost another draft member.
Oh my gosh, your team, Michelle. Hold on, let me
I think it makes sense that Nurys has been doing so much outdoor water stuff and strength stuff because she very clearly wants to just be better and wants to win
and be a fierce competitor.
Into that, yeah.
Yeah, and she did say I'll definitely be back. So she said I think I'll be back, and yeah, I think Nurys will probably be back too, and hopefully does not suffer through this kind of twist where everyone goes into elimination, because I do think Nurys is definitely a very capable player. I mean, at the end of the day, similar to an Amanda, a little bit different. I think Nurys is probably a better player than Amanda. I mean, obviously, but I think they're similar in the sense that if you're in a physical elimination, it's just only so much you can do.
So Paulie was on Fanta's team. So Fanta lost Paulie and Leroy. Ouch! That's hard to lose both of those guys. I mean, I know Paulie hasn't been doing that great since he's been back, and same with Leroy. But I'm just hoping that this one Leroy would be able to redeem himself from All Stars 5. But no, or All Stars 4. Sorry. Do you think that he's going to do better All Stars 5 with him being partnered with Devin? Do you think that Devin will get Leroy away?
No, but I think he'll do better than being the first one out. So it can only go up from here.
Or being eliminated right before the final, or right in the beginning of the final. So Era 2 is going to be doing Take Shelter. They're going to be doing a barricade of this bunker. We see a flashback of CT giving Cara a bit of a pep talk. I thought it was funny when she says that she's going to come back and shit on his bed like Amber Heard. I was like, I watched that entire trial, and I know exactly what she's talking about. Did you watch it too, both of you? Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp?
No.
Where she took he called it a grumpy, but took a grumpy on her bed and blamed it on their toy poodle or toy cup, a very small dog. They're blaming this giant human size grumpy, as he called it, that she left on his bed. Anyways, that's what she was talking about with.
Oh, yeah. I knew what she was referencing. I was like, you don't need to reference that, but that's okay. I get what you're saying.
I thought it was actually funny though that she watched the trial. Hilarious. Debbie says with friends like Michelle, who needs enemies. This is true. She's not as well. She is a good friend, but she's also not a good friend. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about her this season, because she's not going to have as much power she had in 39, but she still has quite a bit.
And she does learn. She seems to sometimes learn from her mistakes. Like even her going right up to Paulie and being like, "This was my decision." Like I feel like she's trying to own things a little bit more, because that's what she's gotten hate on in the past. So like it seems like I'm seeing a couple of those wheels turning. Like she's trying to come forward with her decisions and like stand by those decisions, instead of kind of like backpedaling all the time and being more wishy-washy. So hopefully that's like an improvement for her game.
Is a relationship with Devin bad or good for her?
Good.
Her like life decisions. Okay.
Oh, for the game, good. I don't know about life.
All right, so we see wait, so I did actually enjoy that both the men and the women were competing at the same time, because I just didn't need to see that challenge twice. Like just super boring. So at least that they were doing it at the same time. And I didn't really care. It doesn't really matter who's winning throughout it, because they just cut to old shots anyways. It looked as though Cara was winning more than it actually was showing us, because it would show her at like the beginning stages, and then it looks like Kellyanne is really close to finishing, and then Cara just like takes their thing off and walks in. I was like, oh, but it looked like she was far away from winning, and it wasn't true. So how'd you guys like how this went down?
I think they were closer than they made it seem. In terms of like, Cara was closer. I would have loved Kellyanne to be there longer, but it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, it seemed like Brandon actually, it seemed like Ryan actually did a really good job as well. Like he did the strategy that CT did against Darrell, where it's like, all right, like instead of just throwing all these random things in the way, just focus on the actual knot itself, and make the knot basically unable to be untied. So Ryan did that, and Brandon just seemed to like throw everything in front, and it was very easy for Ryan to just remove it. And to me, I think the Ryan and Brandon was probably more of a blowout than it even seemed on the air.
Well, that's what we learned when CT did that against Jay, is that CT thought that putting all those cinder blocks in front of the barricade was going to be enough to prevent him from getting through, quickly. And it's easy just to move them out of the way. Yes, it's heavy and it's annoying, but getting rope knots untied, that is a pain in the ass. And so, clearly Brandon didn't watch the show, or he would have realized that his tactic wasn't the best way to win this one. And so we get Cara winning. Ooh, though, okay, what was my ooh moment during this segment? Like I literally went ew, ew.
I don't know.
It has to do with Paulie and Cara.
Oh, just like him embracing her and being like, "I love you, you got this."
No, beforehand, when he's talking about
moment.
like, "Oh, I'm used to ropes and tying her up." And
I forgot about that.
And he calls me up, and I'm just like, ugh.
Like, I love that. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, usually I'm the one that's doing the tying up.
I think just they both just gross me out. Like just remember in this, which season was it? World of Worlds 2, when they're talking about every single place that they're gonna have sex in, like in the whole whatever compound. Okay, Kate thought it was funny. I just don't want to picture Paulie and Cara. I don't find Paulie attractive at all. Cara's hot though, but Paulie's not for me. Okay, well, I guess I'm the only one that was grossed out by that. You guys loved it. I'm gonna clip it and send it to you for the holidays. Rachel is more team Cara than team Laurel, which I didn't know actually. So Era 1 was more so rooting for Cara, which I thought was interesting. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah,
and they want Cara to
I'm-
return because of Weekend's era too, having that dissension with her and Laurel and Bananas. Sorry, go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see like when this big blow up, which I think is actually probably going to happen next week between Cara and Laurel. I'm interested to see who is actually going to be there for Cara, because obviously Paulie's gone, Kellyanne's gone, a few of her friends are gone. So I'm curious to see, will people like CT will be there. So I want to see who is going to like stand up to Laurel and say like, hey, like what you're doing is not okay. And it seems like it will be primarily Era One that is going to be supporting Cara now that Paulie's gone.
So it was pretty impressive to see how fast that Rye was able to kind of just throw things out of the way. He was really impressive, even impressing Derek with how quickly he was able to remove that barricade, and he was able to get through pretty quickly. It seemed it seemed like Brandon was kind of lost and Ryan was just zoned in. So Ryan does manage to beat Brandon. So Brandon and Leroy, oh my God, the people going home, it's so upsetting. But we did see that scene where Brandon was getting his hair cut by Leroy, talking about how it sucks that Brandon's going to be going into elimination. And I'm like, oh my God, they both go home? That sucks. So Paulie is embracing Cara before he's going to be leaving. But the actual competitors that are still in the game leave first. And I think it was Johnny that says that it's really strange that we didn't see the people that lost go off. And so wondering what's in the works. If there's a twist that's happening, she just definitely has like the wheels turning. What's his name? TJ says how you treat people is really going to matter. What do you guys think was going to happen when he said this?
I wasn't quite.
I was thinking Redemption House at first. It's like, oh, like someone will be coming back, and I thought that would have made a lot of sense, to be honest, especially when you're getting rid of 8 people. But yeah, I'm curious to see what this twist is. I'm sure it will be pretty shitty, but it seems kind of similar to All Stars 4 with like the stars at the end when you can like gift people advantages for later on. So I wonder if it's going to be like every point that you have is like a minute towards your final time. Or,
yeah, it's probably going to be something like that, I think.
A minute. Okay, maybe maybe at the end you'll get as many points as you have, and you can go and like buy certain advantages in like.
Or maybe it's the order, like the rank. You're ranked at the end. Who's left, and whoever has the most points like gets a head start or gets something. Anyway,
leaving in that order
like that.
with like maybe a minute in between each person. Okay. Maybe. So yes, this is the karma vote. So they can still affect the game. They have to rate each player left in the game 1 to 5. 5, I guess, being the best. And we see that like in the next episode, something about picking targets from each era for each era. Did you understand what that was? I didn't rewatch it to understand it.
It seems like it was in the elimination.
Oh.
What I'm guessing is like the format of the season will be obviously 2 people, 2 men, 2 women go in elimination, and then the winning man and the winning woman decide on who is like the next target at the following elimination. But I don't know how that would work because there's still going to be a daily. It's going to be. Hopefully, we'll learn more next week. But that's what I was kind of thinking, where it's the winner of the elimination gets some sort of power where they have a say in who's vulnerable or something later on.
Yeah, I wish that we just got a double episode last week because I was pretty unsatisfied. Like it was entertaining, I guess, but just to see this max exodus of people that I like going home, there was nothing about it that was satisfying to me. So I'd rather have gotten through this and then just had normal format-ish this week, you know? But I guess we'll have to wait till episode 3 to see how the season is going to be playing out for at least this next section of episodes. But lastly, have you seen this trailer that Dabu was talking about, House of Villains?
I have not, no.
I've not seen it yet, Dabu, so I will check it out.
I also heard that no, it's Wes, but he said something about how like filming House of Villains is like so much less time, like so much less commitment. Whereas a challenge is months and stuff. So
And he could probably
that's
use his
mostly why.
phone. You know what I mean? Like intermittently, like he's able to check in with his family and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, they stay in a hotel. Yeah, I mean, it seems a lot cushier than the life that he's living in.
Also, like Wes doing Traders and House of Villains. It's like less time doing both of those shows, and he probably gets paid more. And like you said, like he probably has his phone. Like at night, he has his phone. He can call home. And like yeah, I mean the appearance fees for those two shows are probably as good or better than the challenge, and a better chance of winning. Like realistically, because there's way less people.
Absolutely. Well, that is it, everybody. Did we? Oh wait, MVP. We were saying MVP is Amanda, and just Amanda.
I go.
Oh, Ryan. Let's give it to Ryan.
Ryan.
He was a badass in that elimination, I thought.
And that was the only like one of the only ones that was like, ooh, like, you know, something different happened.
Do you disagree with this or agree?
You could say Derek, I suppose. But
Derek, we knew that was happening. I feel like Ryan was a little more surprising.
Yeah, Derek volunteered for elimination. I'm not giving him any credit. I think like maybe like a Theo and like I said, Theo had a good episode. I think Cara had a good episode. Yeah.
You don't want to give it to Amanda for getting that 1 point in against Nia?
Yeah, it was impressive. She's definitely the most entertaining, but I mean, she did go home, which was not ideal.
Okay. So for the girls,
I'm always happy giving it. Hey, Amanda's my first round pick, so if you want to give it to Amanda, I'm totally fine with that.
All right, well, that was our first thought. So Michelle, we doing Amanda and Ryan?
We're happy. I mean, people will probably be, you know, I feel like it's not the most accurate, but it's our decision, you know, so like we're not the official challenge, you know, podcast or Bananas podcast. So yeah, we can say Amanda and Ryan. They're the most entertaining and, you know, but not, I mean,
get out of here. We watch it on MTV Canada. So I believe anyways. Okay, well, thank you. Yes, Steffo, Amanda, she was entertaining on this episode. She had so many one-liners. She's calling out Cory. She got one ball in. I think that, yeah, I'm happy with giving it to Amanda. Yes, she went home, but she had no chance. Oh, yes. So do we think we'll get one winner in the final, or will we get winners from each era? I think that we'll lose the eras eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I would say probably one man, one woman. Yeah, I hope it's not one solo winner. That would be horrible.
There's no way that you can go from 40 to 1 and give them $1 million. That's just not right. Okay, well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us to watch this episode recap. Please subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Michelle, do you have anything going on? Matthew, anything going on you want to share with people?
No, nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting. All right.
Except I got my sister back onto the challenge, so she's catching up. She thought she was watching 40 and was messaging me. And she was mentioning people. I said, no, that person's not on the season. You're wrong. You're wrong. She's like, no, they are. Wes. I was like, Wes is not on the season. Turns out she was watching Double Agents. Or
Double Agents. It's so long ago.
Because Paramount, she's like, Paramount lied to me. She just thought it was the newest season because it came up, and like I guess she started watching. She's like, I'm skipping ahead, and I'll go back and watch that after. So
the sad part is, Double Agents will probably be better than season 40. So and Double was quite bad.
I mean, I'm not enjoying the Tories, all that stuff of it all, but I have to still hold hope that it's going to be a good season because I still like a lot of people, right?
You're like, yeah, they'll be gone in the next few weeks too.
Stop! Don't
I
kill
mean,
me.
well, like, do you like Tony?
Enough,
Like Tony
yeah.
is in trouble. I think someone like Tina might be in trouble pretty
Yeah.
soon. Cara Maria is certainly in some trouble. So Horacio is certainly in some trouble now.
Yeah. Shit.
Some
Yeah.
likable people there. And like look who's not in trouble. I mean, Bananas and Laurel are not in trouble. Great season so far.
Great season so far. We'll see how it goes. We got about 20 episodes to go. We'll see if it goes up or just completely plummets. Thanks everybody. Just to remind people to please listen to me on Crime Scene. I was talking with Mari, Sarah, and Latanya about the documentary Daughters that my friend Natalie she directed, and it's an amazing documentary that came out last week on Netflix. Please go watch. We want to get it into the top 10, please, and then go listen to our coverage on the doc. So do yourself a favor. Watch it. Let me know how you found it. It's definitely a heart-wrenching story that I think everybody needs to see. So see you guys next week. Bye.